In San Jose, California, stands a mansion that has fascinated and terrified visitors for over a century, the Winchester Mystery House. This sprawling estate, built by Sarah Winchester, the widow of the inventor of the famous Winchester rifle, is shrouded in mystery and eerie tales. Sarah Winchester began construction on the mansion in 1884, after the deaths of her husband and child. Driven by grief and a belief that she was cursed by the spirits of those killed by her husband's rifles, Sarah was convinced that the only way to appease these vengeful spirits was to continuously build and renovate her home. The result is a labyrinthine structure of over 160 rooms, staircases that lead to nowhere, doors that open into walls, and windows that look out onto other rooms. The mansion's peculiar design and the mysterious circumstances surrounding its construction have given rise to numerous ghost stories and legends. One of the most chilling tales involves the restless spirits said to haunt the house. In the early 1900s, a construction worker named William Wirt was hired to help with the mansion's endless renovations. He reported a series of disturbing experiences: disembodied voices, sudden cold drafts, and the sensation of being watched. His encounters grew increasingly unsettling until he claimed to have seen a shadowy figure in one of the mansion's many rooms. This figure was described as a woman in old-fashioned clothing, her face obscured by darkness. Wirt's colleagues dismissed his claims as exhaustion-induced hallucinations, but he left the project soon after, unable to shake the feeling of being pursued by something otherworldly. Another eerie story involves the mansion's Hall of Mirrors, a corridor lined with mirrors that supposedly reflected not only the physical space but also glimpses of spectral figures. Visitors have reported seeing fleeting glimpses of ghostly apparitions in the mirrors, only for them to vanish when looked at directly. The feeling of being watched is pervasive, with many claiming to feel a cold, unseen presence following them through the mansion's twisting corridors. One particularly terrifying incident occurred in the 1970s, when a group of paranormal investigators spent the night in the mansion. Equipped with state-of-the-art equipment, they recorded unexplained phenomena: sudden drops in temperature, unexplained noises, and shadowy figures moving across their cameras. One investigator recounted hearing a chilling whisper in his ear, saying, "You shouldn't be here." As the night progressed, they felt an overwhelming sense of dread, leading them to leave the mansion well before dawn. The Winchester Mystery House remains a popular destination for those seeking a glimpse into the supernatural. Its reputation for being haunted continues to grow, with numerous accounts of ghostly encounters and eerie occurrences. The mansion's endless, confusing layout and the tragic history of its owner combine to create an unsettling atmosphere that captivates and terrifies those who enter. Visitors often leave with a lingering sense of unease, as if the spirits Sarah Winchester sought to appease are still waiting within those endless corridors, whispering their secrets to those brave enough or foolish enough to enter. As time went on, the mysteries surrounding the Winchester Mystery House only deepened. Despite Sarah Winchester's death in 1922, the mansion's legend continued to grow. New owners and visitors alike have reported unsettling encounters that seem to defy rational explanation. In the 1930s, the mansion was purchased by a real estate developer named Harold L. Smith, who saw the property's potential. Smith and his family moved into the house with grand plans to renovate it and restore it to its former glory. However, their dreams of revitalizing the mansion quickly turned into a nightmare. One evening, while inspecting the house, Smith's teenage daughter, Ellen, was exploring the labyrinth of rooms when she stumbled upon a small, hidden door behind a bookcase. Curious, she opened it to find a narrow, dark stairway leading down to a basement she had never seen before. The basement was cluttered with old furniture, dusty antiques, and an array of bizarre artifacts. The most unsettling item among them was a large, ornate mirror that seemed out of place in the otherwise dusty, forgotten space. That night, Ellen began experiencing vivid, terrifying dreams. In these dreams, she wandered through the house, but the layout was entirely different from what she knew. Hallways stretched endlessly, doors led to other doors, and she was constantly being pursued by shadowy figures. Each morning, she would wake up with a deep sense of dread, unable to shake the feeling that someone, or something, was watching her. As days turned into weeks, Ellen's nightmares grew more intense. She reported hearing whispers at night, though no one else in the house seemed to hear them. The whispers seemed to come from the very walls of the mansion, murmuring incoherent phrases that left her feeling more and more isolated. Her family was concerned but dismissed her fears as stress-related until they began to experience strange occurrences of their own. Harold Smith himself reported seeing figures darting in and out of his peripheral vision. He would hear footsteps in the empty hallways and see shadows moving across the walls. His attempts to investigate only led him deeper into the maze of rooms, where he would find himself disoriented and anxious. The once exciting project had turned into a haunted ordeal, and eventually, the Smith family decided to leave. The mansion was eventually sold again, but the new owners, a couple named the Johnsons, had their own share of strange encounters. They discovered that the old mirror Ellen had found was missing from the basement. They tried to ignore the unsettling feeling that the mirror was somehow connected to the house's strange occurrences. Yet, their attempts to enjoy the mansion were marred by inexplicable phenomena. One night, the Johnsons hosted a small dinner party. As they enjoyed their evening, the power suddenly went out, plunging the house into darkness. The guests fumbled to find candles, and as they did, they began to notice an odd smell, something akin to burning wood. When the lights flickered back on, they were horrified to find that the house's intricate wooden panels had been scorched as if by a fire that had left no trace of smoke or heat. The final straw came when the Johnsons' young son went missing. Panic spread through the house, and after a frantic search, they found him in the basement, standing in front of the ornate mirror Ellen had discovered years earlier. He was staring at his own reflection with an expression of sheer terror. The boy later claimed that the mirror had shown him horrific scenes of the house's past, including the anguished faces of the murdered Moore family. The Johnsons, deeply unsettled by the events, decided to vacate the mansion. They left behind a note for future occupants, warning them of the eerie experiences they had endured. Today, the Winchester Mystery House remains a popular destination for those fascinated by the supernatural. Visitors often report feeling an inexplicable presence, hearing disembodied voices, and encountering cold spots. The mansion's endless maze of rooms and hallways continues to be a source of fascination and fear. The Winchester Mystery House stands as a haunting testament to Sarah Winchester's obsession with appeasing the spirits of those who died from her husband's rifles. Whether one believes in the supernatural or not, the mansion's eerie atmosphere and dark history make it a place where the boundaries between reality and the unknown seem to blur, leaving a lingering sense of dread for all who enter. In the decades following the Johnsons' departure, the Winchester Mystery House remained a curious landmark, drawing thrill-seekers and paranormal enthusiasts. Despite its ominous reputation, the mansion was maintained and even opened to the public for tours, promising a glimpse into its labyrinthine architecture and ghostly lore. In the late 1980s, a local historian named Dr. Claire Dawson took a keen interest in the mansion. Fascinated by its dark history, she hoped to uncover more about Sarah Winchester's motivations and the haunting rumors that surrounded the estate. Dr. Dawson began extensive research, poring over old blueprints, diaries, and personal letters that had been preserved over the years. During her research, Dr. Dawson came across an old journal entry belonging to one of the mansion's early caretakers. The entry mentioned a mysterious vanishing room, a space in the mansion that seemed to appear and disappear, defying the laws of architecture and physics. Intrigued, Dr. Dawson sought to locate this enigmatic room. She hoped that finding it might provide insight into Sarah Winchester's obsessive building projects and possibly even shed light on the paranormal activity reported by previous occupants. Dr. Dawson spent countless hours exploring the mansion's many rooms, but the elusive vanishing room seemed to elude her. The mansion's complex layout made it challenging to navigate, and many of the rooms had been altered or sealed off over the years. Determined, she consulted with the current owners, a young couple named the Parkers, who had also reported unsettling experiences in the house. The Parkers had been experiencing strange phenomena, objects moving on their own, unexplained noises, and a persistent feeling of being watched. They were supportive of Dr. Dawson's research and granted her full access to the mansion, hoping that her findings might help explain the odd occurrences they had been experiencing. One stormy night, while exploring the mansion's dimly lit hallways, Dr. Dawson stumbled upon a hidden door she had never seen before. It was concealed behind an old bookcase in a room that had been renovated several times. With great effort, she managed to open the door, revealing a narrow staircase leading to an attic space she hadn't previously explored. As she ascended the creaky stairs, Dr. Dawson felt a chill in the air. The attic was cluttered with old furniture, dusty trunks, and cobweb-covered items. In the center of the room stood a large, ornate mirror, the same mirror that had once belonged to the Smith family. Her heart raced as she approached it, feeling as though something was pulling her toward it. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the attic, causing Dr. Dawson to jump. The mirror's reflection flickered as if disturbed by an unseen force. When she looked into it, she saw a vision of a room she did not recognize. A room with walls covered in strange symbols and old furniture arranged in an unsettling manner. The vision seemed to shift, and then, with a jarring shift, the mirror's reflection returned to normal. Desperate to understand what she had seen, Dr. Dawson took photographs of the attic and the mirror. When she reviewed the photographs later, she was horrified to find that one of the images captured the room she had glimpsed in the mirror's reflection. A room that seemed to be neither part of the mansion's original blueprints nor accessible in reality. Dr. Dawson's research continued, but she was increasingly disturbed by the findings. The vanishing room from the caretaker's journal appeared to be a reality, accessible only through specific, perhaps unknowable, conditions. The mirror, seemingly central to the house's eerie happenings, seemed to act as a portal or a lens into this hidden space. As she delved deeper, Dr. Dawson discovered that other researchers and paranormal investigators had also encountered strange phenomena linked to mirrors throughout the mansion. These occurrences suggested that the mirrors might somehow be connected to the mansion's haunting. The mirror's reflection seemed to offer glimpses into other dimensions or realms, and some believed it acted as a gateway to the restless spirits that Sarah Winchester sought to appease. Despite her growing apprehension, Dr. Dawson continued her research, driven by the need to understand the mansion's mysteries. However, she began to receive anonymous threats and warnings to cease her investigation. Frightened but resolute, she chose to press on, knowing that the secrets of the Winchester Mystery House were far from fully revealed. The mansion's reputation as a place of supernatural intrigue and terror persisted. Tourists and ghost hunters alike continue to report eerie experiences and sightings, adding to the ongoing legend of the Winchester Mystery House. The vanishing room remains a tantalizing enigma, a ghostly reminder of the mansion's dark history and the restless spirits that may still inhabit its shadowy corners. The Winchester Mystery House stands as a labyrinth of mystery and the unknown, where each corner holds secrets, and every reflection may reveal glimpses of a hidden reality that defies explanation. Despite Dr. Dawson's alarming discoveries and the unsettling warnings she received, her fascination with the Winchester Mystery House only grew. The vanishing room, with its enigmatic connection to the mirror, remained at the heart of her investigation. She believed that the room could hold the key to understanding the full extent of the house's haunting. Dr. Dawson's persistence drew the attention of a prominent paranormal research team known for their work on high-profile cases. They were intrigued by her findings and offered to collaborate, bringing with them advanced technology and a fresh perspective. This team included a medium named Rachel, who had a reputation for her sensitivity to supernatural energies. The team arrived at the mansion, eager to explore the attic and the mirror Dr. Dawson had discovered. They conducted a thorough examination of the space, using infrared cameras, electromagnetic field detectors, and audio recorders to capture any unusual activity. As night fell, they prepared for a lengthy investigation, hoping to capture evidence of the supernatural. Rachel, the medium, began her session by focusing on the mirror, which she felt was a significant conduit for the house's energy. She closed her eyes and entered a trance, hoping to communicate with any spirits linked to the mirror or the vanishing room. As Rachel channeled her energy, she began to speak in a voice that was not her own. The room grew colder, and an oppressive atmosphere settled over the team. Rachel spoke of voices she heard, describing them as anguished and fragmented, with phrases that hinted at unfinished business and a desire for escape. The medium's unsettling revelations seemed to confirm the presence of restless spirits deeply connected to the mansion's mysterious past. One of the infrared cameras captured a chilling anomaly. A shadowy figure appeared near the mirror, shifting and flickering as if trying to manifest. The figure seemed to move in and out of view, aligning with Rachel's descriptions of the ghostly presence. The team felt an overwhelming sense of dread and disorientation, as if the house itself was actively resisting their intrusion. The following night, the team focused on the attic, where Dr. Dawson had seen the vision of the vanishing room in the mirror. They meticulously examined the area, searching for any clues that might explain the room's mysterious appearance. As they explored, one of the investigators noticed an odd indentation in the wall, partially hidden behind a large trunk. The indentation was carefully examined and revealed to be a hidden compartment, which contained an old, leather-bound book covered in dust. The book was a diary, its pages filled with cryptic symbols, sketches of rooms, and descriptions of supernatural phenomena. The diary appeared to be written by a previous occupant or perhaps even Sarah Winchester herself. It detailed attempts to communicate with the spirit world and described experiments to create hidden spaces within the mansion. Among the diary's entries was a disturbing passage about a ritual intended to contact and appease the spirits that had been angered by the Winchester rifles. The ritual involved the use of mirrors to bridge the gap between the living and the dead. The author wrote of unintended consequences, spirits becoming trapped between worlds and manifesting in ways that defied conventional understanding. As the team read the diary, the atmosphere in the mansion grew increasingly charged. The temperature dropped drastically, and a sudden gust of wind extinguished their candles, plunging the space into darkness. The investigators felt an overwhelming sense of being watched, and the sound of whispering voices filled the air. Rachel, still in a trance, suddenly spoke of a new vision. A room hidden within the mansion's walls, accessible only through specific conditions that aligned with the mirror's reflections. The team was both excited and fearful, realizing that they might be on the brink of discovering the elusive vanishing room. Guided by Rachel's vision and the clues from the diary, they began a detailed search of the mansion's walls, looking for any hidden passages or doors. Their efforts paid off when they discovered a concealed entryway behind a bookcase in a seldom-used library. The entryway led to a narrow passage that wound through the walls of the house. The passage eventually opened into a small, hidden room, a perfect match for the vanishing room described in the diary. Inside, they found strange symbols etched into the walls, an old writing desk, and an assortment of occult items. The room was filled with an eerie stillness, as if it had been frozen in time. As the team investigated further, they experienced a series of inexplicable phenomena. Objects moved on their own, and the air grew thick with an oppressive energy. The investigators reported feeling a profound sense of unease and a strong presence of spirits trapped within the room. Rachel, still channeling, communicated with these entities and learned of their deep frustration and desire to be released from their spectral confinement. The discovery of the vanishing room and the subsequent communication with the spirits revealed a haunting truth about the Winchester Mystery House. It was a place where the boundaries between the living and the dead had been deliberately blurred. Sarah Winchester's attempts to appease the spirits had inadvertently created a prison for them, trapping them in a nightmarish loop. The paranormal research team, shaken by their findings, concluded their investigation, leaving behind detailed reports and evidence of their experiences. The Winchester Mystery House remains a place of intrigue and terror, with the vanishing room standing as a testament to the mansion's dark history and the restless spirits that continue to haunt its corridors. Visitors to the mansion still report eerie encounters and ghostly phenomena, adding to the legend of the Winchester Mystery House, a place where the past and present intertwine, and the echoes of the vanishing room reverberate through the ages. The discovery of the vanishing room and the occult diary by Dr. Dawson and the paranormal team revealed the true extent of the Winchester Mystery House's haunting. The hidden room, with its mysterious symbols and spectral presence, confirmed that the house was more than just a labyrinthine architectural anomaly. It was a gateway between the living and the dead, a place where restless spirits were trapped. The haunting revelations led to increased interest and caution among visitors and investigators. The mansion's eerie atmosphere, combined with the unsettling history of Sarah Winchester's attempts to appease the spirits, only deepened its reputation as a site of supernatural activity. The Winchester Mystery House continued to captivate and terrify those who dared to explore its corridors. Despite numerous investigations and ongoing research, the true nature of the spirits and the full extent of their entrapment remained a mystery. The mansion stands as a chilling testament to the blending of history and the supernatural, a place where the past's echoes linger and the boundaries between worlds remain forever blurred. The Winchester Mystery House remains open to the public, its haunted legacy enduring as a spectral reminder of Sarah Winchester's tragic obsession and the restless souls that still roam its shadowy halls. Each visitor who steps into the mansion feels a shiver, a reminder that some mysteries are best left unsolved, and some places are forever haunted by the past.